Hey, there she is.
So, hello.
Hi, how are you? What's up?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, not so bad. Thanks so much for joining us. Friday afternoon here in Columbus, Friday evening in London, if I did my math correctly. Thanks for taking some time out of your night to come join us here in Ohio.
No, it's all good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah. Well, I mean, it always feels weird to get started with an interview like this without first asking like how you've been over the course of the last few months, and I guess it's been almost 6 months, but are things different in London than they might be here in the States? And how are you dealing with that change?
I think the situation is much more different in London than America. But
Yeah.
um, but still like really strange, obviously, because we're like living in a pandemic. So like pubs are still open, but like up to a certain time, and you have to like do this thing where you like scan a barcode and you can like you get directly sent an email if someone has COVID in the pub you are at, so you can self-isolate. So yeah, no,
Huh.
it's still kind of moderated in that sense, and you have to wear masks everywhere, but like in terms of like meeting people, you can meet up to 6 people right now, and like jobs are still like happening. And
That barcode idea is a really good idea. We don't have that here for some reason. But I mean, how have you been dealing like personally with it? Because so much has changed in my life, and I wasn't on tour with the 1975. So has it been like, have you had like a bit of an optimistic approach? Is this some nice, well-deserved time off, or are you craving to get back out there with it?
oh, I'm craving so badly to go out and play to everyone, but at the same time I really appreciated the time I had at home and kind of rebuilding the relationships I you know kind of forgot about when I was away for that long. And yeah, no, I think it's really rare that artists have this much time to just to like live in their album. And I kind of, I really appreciate me kind of having this time to kind of just look back and be grateful for everything that's happened.
Yeah, it's a really interesting time to be releasing a new record because that doesn't happen very often, as you know, how an artist might release a big work and then instantly be on the road in chaos for the next few months. But now we have some time to sit and kind of reflect with this new record that is out on the 16th, which is exactly 3 weeks away. Fake It Flowers due out in October. Are you excited about this?
I'm excited. It's kind of a terrifying thought that's coming out soon. Oh my God, 3 weeks.
3 weeks, if I did my math right.
Jesus.
But yeah, I'm really excited to get it. I'm really excited to pay it a listen. Really been enjoying the stuff that we're playing so far here in Columbus. Care doing really well. A handful of singles out now. And these songs were all written. Is it correct to say that these songs were all written before any of this started back in March, or was there one song? I heard you talking about one song that was recorded on a 4 track in a garden, kind of at the last
Yeah.
minute. What was the story there?
So all the songs Flowers were recorded prior to Corona, except for one. That's the song that's coming out next week called How's Your Day. I was in lockdown in my boyfriend's house and I recorded it with the help of his brother on this 4 track. It's like cassette recorder, and yeah, we kind of left it as raw as it sounded. Obviously like cleaned it up a few times, but like I think we left all the mistakes and like the vocal wobbles and the imperfections of the song, because I think it adds to its charm, and it really matches the meaning behind How's Your Day and everything about the song. So yeah.
The music that inspires you is so the Venn diagram between the music that inspires you and the music that we really enjoy here at the station in Columbus is almost just a circle. So can I ask you, as you wrote some of these new songs, what were you listening to the most, or what artists do you feel like really inspired, like some of the new stuff that we can expect?
Well, specifically for Fake It Flower, it was very much Alanis Morissette and Veruca Salt. Like I remember banging out Eight Arms to Hold You, that album, like during kind of the recording process and kind of the writing process. Like that was like kind of the beginning of me properly getting into that band. And you mentioned Juliana Hatfield and Liz Phair, and I only listened to them. Unfortunately, I didn't listen to them like whilst I was writing the album. I started listening to them because everybody kept saying I sounded like they reminded me of them, and I was like, oh, I've never listened to these artists, and then I got super into them when, you know, I started listening to them. But yeah, no, for Fake It Flowers, it was Alanis and the Cranberries and My Bloody Valentine, and yeah, no, it's a lot of artists inspired their record. And the Smashing Pumpkins.
God, that's so exciting. Oh yeah.
I always miss out the Smashing Pumpkins. It's like one of my favorite bands ever. But yeah.
Absolutely. It's a staple, to be sure. And I'm really excited to hear some of the more music coming out on the 16th and the new single next week. I'm grateful for watching those other interviews. I'm grateful for the artists that you mentioned in them that I'm entirely not familiar with. I listened to a lot of the Not Twist last night because you mentioned it. Is there anything that's been stuck in your head lately, like within these past couple of weeks, that you just can't get enough of, that we should all check out?
I'm trying to think because I haven't. What's her name? What's that song that goes, I got your voice on tape? Jenny Owen. Do you know that song?
I don't. Jenny Owen. I'm gonna write it down.
Voice on tape, and it's like crazy. So
right on. We can put a whole playlist together after this, honestly. I'd be interested to hear some of that. From a perspective of like influences and stuff to a more technical aspect, there's I'm fascinated with the way that you approach music from sort of like a theory perspective, because I'm terrible at music theory. I don't understand it at all. And I don't mean to make it scientific, but you talk about your tunings, the different tunings of your guitar, and you referred to them once as like cheat codes, but that's the hardest thing for me to grasp, just period, the different tunings. What inspires you to kind of write in these different voicings?
You know, I'm a beginner guitar player. Like, I don't really play guitar that well, and I feel like, you know, finding these hacks is really, makes it really easy to be creative and to find really interesting ways to find melodies, because you don't need complicated, chord shapes. You just need two fingers and a cool tuning. And for Fake It Flowers especially, there's like one song that's on standard, but the rest is tunings kind of that I changed Dad Fad with a mixture of this other tuning I made for my last EP, Space Cadet. But it's just manipulating what you already know. If you know Dad Fad, just move those little twiddly things and it makes a pretty sound. I don't know, like I don't know the technical stuff about guitar, but I know that it's easy to kind of make something sound really pretty.
Yeah. So when you go on tour, do you have like a whole stack of guitars and all of them are in a different tuning and you know which one to pick? Or how many guitars do you wind up using?
Yeah, there was like, I guess has a difficult job. There's a lot. There's like a guitar for each tuning, obviously. And in this album, there's about, I think, like 3 or 4 tuning. Like, yeah, three or 4 tunings.
4 tunings.
4 tunings. 4 tunings. For the album. Yeah.
That's great. So the stage deck definitely has his work cut out for him. That's awesome. Well, again, I'm really excited to hear it on the 16th when that whole record comes out. We do want to have you play one if you're able.
Yeah.
Were you gonna play a song for us today?
I was gonna play Car. It's been a while since I talked about it. Maybe it's time to cooperate. I need somehow to forget about it. I don't want your sympathy. Stop saying you give a shit, 'cause you don't care, 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 yeah. It's been a while since I thought about it. Maybe it's time to communicate. I was starting to think about it. The fact that I still can't forget about it. I don't want your sympathy. I guess I've had it rough, but you don't Still the same, still the same, but are you the same? Oh, by the way, still the same, still the same, but are you the same? 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 Forget about it, I don't want your sympathy. I guess I've had it rough. Let you down. Care, care, Are you the same? Are you the same? Are you the same? Are you?
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Care off the new record. Off the new record, Fake It Flowers, due out on the 16th. Beabadoobee with us on Instagram Live today. God, that sounds good. And I can't wait to see it in person one of these days.
Oh, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple more things before we cut you loose. I did want to get to some fan questions, but one thing that I forgot to ask about before, and this is something that your fans that you brought with you today on this Instagram stream are no doubt very familiar with it, but I'd like you to tell the story for us here in Columbus about your tattoos, because I've heard you talk about two, and they're two wildly different tattoos. There's one on your arm of the Peanuts Charlie Brown comic strip, and then on the other arm, Mac Demarco gave you a stick and poke at a karaoke venue. Is this the true story?
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah.
That's so cool.
Right, so this is a Charlie Brown strip, and it's Charlie Brown throwing a ball and Snoopy catching it and bringing it back. And I just really I grew up with Charlie Brown, and I think the kind of whole idea behind it is kind of an introduction to mental health and the fact that it's okay to not be okay. And I just like the meaning behind it, and I feel like, it's very sentimental to me. My mom, basically, as I was growing up, she collected loads of stuffed toys from the comic strips, and I have a collection back home in the Philippines. And the Mac Demarco one, my band and I supported Mac in Dublin, and we just got super fucked up. And me and my Gemma, who's over there, we went to the karaoke bar with him. My bassist also has an alien thing on her leg, but she got super drunk. She had to be carried home, so she didn't make it to the karaoke bar. But it was just me and Louis, and yeah, he did it, and with the help of his friend, I forget his name, but his really nice friend did it as well. But yeah, no, we used vodka to sterilize my arm, and yeah, forever.
God, that's so cool. I can't imagine the regret that I would live with if I were too drunk to have gone and somebody else got a Mac Demarco stick and poke.
I was supposed to get it on my forehead because I was that drunk. My forehead, do it on my forehead. Yeah, no, it's terrible.
As we start to kind of close things out though today, I do have these fan questions
Of course.
I do want to start with perhaps the heaviest one. Gemma in Melbourne asked about your music videos,
Mhm.
specifically how important you consider the music videos as a part of your entire sphere of creative work. Can you tell us a bit about the process that goes into them? And I'm always curious, does it happen when you're writing the song, or does it happen much later?
Sometimes it happens during the song, but usually like I come up with like a stupid idea that would probably cost like millions of pounds to direct. So we'd have to kind of simplify it. But yeah, no, music videos do play a massive role in terms of like this whole music thing. I think it's because I'm quite a visual person, and I think it's really important, especially for Fake It Flowers. I wanted everything to be part of this world, and because of my time in lockdown, which is another good thing that's happened because of this time, despite everything else that's terrible. But I mean, it really gave me, time to really perfect the aesthetic vision of Fake It Flowers and what I wanted it to look like. And my main collaborator, who is my boyfriend, knows me better than anyone else does. And him and his best friend Amir, who's also my friend, we kind of grew up with together, from like secondary school days. We all just kind of just bounce off each other's ideas, and they really go off and bring the song I write into life. And especially for Care, and we did that during lockdown in my boyfriend's house. We were all kind of quarantining with him, and we created that, and obviously Sorry. And it just really, there's so many little bits in every video that I think no one will get like worth. There were some things on Worth that only I got. But I think it's really important that music videos are honest in that way, and I guess represent you as an artist, and I guess represent the music. But yeah, no, definitely it's very important to me. I always want to make really good music videos. I don't know, it's like my favorite creative so far. It's I think it's just, we've really managed to kind of intertwine everything, and the whole imagery behind the flowers. There's always something to do with that. And yeah, no, there's 2 more music videos to come.
Right on. Well, we're looking forward to them quite a bit. A different fan question to kind of carry over into this one. Do you have any favorite filmmakers?
I really like Richard Ayoade. I just like him as a person as well. I think he's amazing. And I like Martin Scorsese. I like all the films. I'm a really big fan of gangster films. I don't know why, but I really into. I don't know. I'm not as big of a film buff as my boyfriend is, but I'd probably say Richard Ayoade. I do like Wes Anderson. I think my boyfriend's a pretty good director. Soren's a pretty good director. I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say. This one comes to us from Mylene. Guitar being your main instrument, you also play violin, but what other instrument would you like to learn if you could?
Definitely harp. I think I'm getting a harp. I don't know what's happening to that, but I'm supposed to be getting a harp soon. I'm gonna be that bitch who plays a harp.
It's a beautiful instrument.
Yeah, that's so pretty. I feel like it's super hot. I'm so gonna play a harp. I really want to be. I want to give off harp vibes. And I think it sounds really cool. And I'd love to play harp on future songs of mine. Yeah, because I don't play any of the strings, despite me learning violin for 7 years. I've forgotten how to play. I feel like I've just been traumatized too much as a child, just constantly playing violin. But yeah, no, harp.
One more for you. This one comes to us from Zam in Belgium. And I like this question a lot. He writes, if you could go to the moon and play a song, what song would you play on the moon?
If we went, yeah. Would it have to be my song? Can it be any song?
It could be any song.
We play the EP Space Girl. That's all about space. No, we play Sun. Oh, that's kind of rude on the moon if we play Sun more often on the moon.
Yeah, but we can like.
We'd play Space Cadet. We'd play a song off Space Cadet on the moon, because that'd be funny.
That's good. That's smart. All right. Well, I've got one last thing for you before we cut you loose, get you on with your Friday evening. I always like to run everybody through a quick lightning round at the end, some rapid fire questions to really get in your head. Are you ready?
Okay.
Question number one, dogs or cats?
Dogs.
I always like to ask this one. One of your smash hits off the bat was called Coffee, but you are from London, so I can't make any assumptions. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Testing your geography with this one. I usually ask artists for the prettiest American state in terms of its geographical outline alone, like which one has the best shape. But I will open this up as well to English county lines if you'd like to choose one of those.
Buckinghamshire.
And then lastly, a classic question, and I'm also interested to get your take on this because I thought I had an answer to it, and then Maddie from the 1975 changed my answer entirely. If you had to, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
I'd probably say one horse-sized duck because I'd find a way to ride it instead, and it'd be my friend.
That's a good answer. That's a creative and peaceful answer. I love it. Thank you so much, beabadoobee, for joining us today. I hope you can have a great rest of your Friday night. Thanks for being so generous with your time.
I'll send you the song. I'll send you the album actually.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember.
Okay, cool.
Stina Nordenstam. Stina Nordenstam. Stina. Yes. Stina Nordenstam, and the album This Is Stina Nordenstam. Sick.
Cool. I've got it written down. I'll pay it a listen tonight. Looking forward to the new record and the new song coming out next week. Thanks again for your time.
No, thanks for having me.